Nature is deeply intertwined with mathematics, as reflected in various natural phenomena. One of the most striking examples is the Fibonacci sequence, a series of numbers where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones. 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, and so on. This sequence is linked to the golden ratio, represented by the Greek letter phi, approximately 1.618, which is derived by dividing a Fibonacci number by its predecessor. For example, dividing 144 by 89, both Fibonacci numbers, results in approximately 1.618. That is the golden ratio. The Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio are fascinating mathematical concepts that appear frequently in nature. Many flowers feature a number of petals that corresponds to a Fibonacci number. For instance, chicory commonly has 21 petals, and some daisies have 34 or 55 petals. Lilies and irises often have 3 petals, buttercups have 5, delphiniums have 8, ragworts have 13. The pattern and alignment of these petals tend to exhibit the golden ratio, contributing to optimal packing and growth efficiency. However, it's important to note that not all flowers strictly follow this pattern. The correlation between the number of petals on some flowers and Fibonacci numbers is a well-observed phenomenon, but it isn't universal for all flowers. It's an example of how Fibonacci numbers can manifest in nature. The spiral arrangement of leaves on certain plants, known as phyllotaxis, often follows a Fibonacci pattern. This configuration helps maximize exposure to sunlight and air, optimizing light capture and space efficiency. Such arrangements have been extensively studied in the field of botany for their functional benefits. Tree branches often grow in patterns aligned with Fibonacci numbers to maximize sunlight exposure. Similarly, the spiral patterns in pine cones and pineapples frequently correspond to Fibonacci numbers. The nautilus shell features a spiral that closely approximates the golden spiral based on the golden ratio. Although these natural logarithmic spirals are sometimes mistakenly said to follow the golden spiral exactly, they are close approximations. This intriguing alignment with Fibonacci numbers is supported by both mathematical modeling and empirical observation. The claim that honeybee colony ratios directly mirror the golden ratio is not entirely accurate. However, studies have shown Fibonacci-like patterns in the genealogy of male bees or drones. This occurs because drones are haploid, having only one parent, the queen, while female bees, workers and queens are diploid with 2 parents. This genetic arrangement leads to family trees that reflect Fibonacci sequences. Additionally, it is sometimes suggested that the proportion of female to male honeybees in a colony may approach the golden ratio, although this is more of a conceptual observation than a strict rule. This genetic pattern arises from the reproductive process in bees, where the haploid-diploid distinction results in family trees modeled by Fibonacci sequences, serving as a genetic illustration rather than a direct manifestation. The Fibonacci sequence and golden ratio can be observed in certain aspects of human anatomy. For example, the body features 1 nose, 2 eyes and limbs segmented into 3 parts: upper arm, lower arm and hand, with 5 digits on each hand and foot. Some body proportions, such as the ratio between shoulder to elbow length and elbow to fingertip length, are noted to approximate the golden ratio. However, it's an oversimplification to claim that the human body strictly follows the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 5. Human anatomy is complex and cannot be fully described by simple numerical patterns. While certain proportions might suggest a relationship to the golden ratio, the body's structure exhibits numerous variations beyond these mathematical concepts. Some artistic and anatomical studies propose that certain body proportions approximate the golden ratio, but these are not precise and vary among individuals. The double helix structure of DNA exhibits dimensions connected to Fibonacci numbers, with one full twist measuring roughly 34 angstroms and a width of about 21 angstroms, both Fibonacci numbers. However, these measurements are not universal for all DNA molecules. While the relationship between DNA dimensions and Fibonacci numbers is an intriguing observation, DNA structures can vary across different biological contexts. This connection should be seen as an interesting coincidence rather than a strict biological rule. Beyond Earth, the spirals of galaxies and the worlds of seashells display the intriguing presence of the golden ratio and Fibonacci numbers, suggesting patterns that span from the microscopic to the cosmic scale. Some spiral galaxies exhibit formations resembling the golden spiral, though this pattern is not universally present in all galaxies. While certain galaxies have spiral arms that align with logarithmic spirals related to the golden ratio, they do not all strictly conform to this pattern, as they are influenced by gravitational dynamics. While patterns like the Fibonacci sequence and golden ratio appear in nature, they are not universal laws. The occurrence of mathematical patterns in nature is undeniably intriguing and has sparked numerous scientific and philosophical discussions. While such patterns exist, they are part of complex natural systems that cannot be fully explained by simple mathematical concepts alone. Some scientists argue these patterns may be coincidental, while others suggest the human brain is wired to detect order amid chaos. Whether they are intentional designs or mere coincidences, these mathematical principles in natural structures point to an underlying framework or set of rules governing the universe, influencing entities from galaxies to subatomic particles. Ultimately, these patterns are based on scientific observations, but interpretations can vary. Observing these patterns can provide insight into the efficiency and beauty of natural forms, but it's essential to recognize the complexity and variability inherent in living systems. Scientific inquiry continues to explore these connections, often uncovering new insights and nuances.